everyone, and welcome to week 8. This week we've got a couple of challenging projects. You are now at the tail end of your learning experience with Excel. And this week these projects are a little challenging. I am going to, in this video, make my lecture off of the credit card expenses project. And the other project is called Go 16 Greater Cap 2. It's an annual report, and that's got some rigor to it. Anyway, let me go ahead and get started. So download your files, whatever it is that you need to do. And the fastest way to save, one second here, it's taken a little time to load up, is F12. And I'm going to put this in my BUSA folder. We are in Excel, and I am going to save it. I've already done this a couple times. By the way, I will tell you, I missed a couple things the first time around. I got a 91% the first time, and then a 96%. Take your time. The good news is that you have unlimited attempts on your assignments, so everyone should have an A going into the final just about, right? Okay, so the instructions are a little different. Let me download those just so I can give you a visual in this. So for the instructions, it's 2 pages, and the tricky part will be when we get down here. If you can, you don't have to print in color. If you can, it might be a little bit better because we've got a couple of arguments that we're going to be using in regards to formulas. And it's kind of nice to see that in blue. And let me move those over to my second monitor and get off of this. Alrighty. So in step 2, it says in the dining out worksheet. So let's just take a look at our surroundings. We do have 2 worksheets, dining out and June expenses. We are going to convert our table, our data to a table. So click anywhere in your data, and now we're going to convert it to a table. So format table as, and let me finish reading this. By the way, here's a tidbit for you for this week. I think I've said it before, but I'll repeat myself again. When you're taking your final for Excel, make sure, just like when you took the Word final, that you read the entire question first, then make the move, and then go back and reread the question again. So we need to be in the dining out worksheet, convert the data to a table, and apply table style light 14. We know that it's light, and this is 4, 5, 6, 7, so we'll go right here. This should be table style light 14. So go ahead and click that, and we get our dialog box. What are we making into a table? A1 to E53, and if I scroll down you would be able to see that, and all you had to do was just click in here. And yes, my table does have headers: date, store, description, amount, and business. Let it do its thing. It's way smarter than us, so just accept the defaults and just click OK. Now let's remove duplicate rows in the dining out worksheet. There are hardly any instructions in this, and so when I first read it, I'm thinking, well, okay, I know where I'm going to make that move and when I click, but how do I know what I'm going to be removing? And by that, here's what I mean. You see that we have Wendy's, the same date, the same description, and the same amount. When you click your remove duplicates, you get a dialog box that pops up, and you are able to choose date, store, description, amount, and business. Nowhere does it say in the instructions to only do one or a couple of these, so let it default to whatever it is. Don't deselect this. You do have headers. You want your headers to be in there, and click OK. We had 6 duplicates. Values found and removed. So 46 unique values remain. Step 4, sort the table by the description, and we want that in alphabetical order. then by store in alphabetical order, and then by the amount from the smallest to the largest. What I'm going to do for this one is we're going to go to our data and we're going to do sort this way, and we're just going to add levels. So the first one says sort the table by description in alphabetical order. Then we're going to add a label because now we want to sort by store in alphabetical order. And then we want to sort by the amount from the smallest to the largest. And there you have it. None of these will change. These are values that we're looking at. It's either numbers or text. So we won't do any of these. We don't have any cell icons or font colors or cell colors. So just leave it at that and then just say OK. And now it's sorted for us. Step 5, we're now going to filter the records using the checkbox filters to show personal, lunch, and dinner expenses. So let me go slow. I know that our filter is already turned on. I can see it here, and I have the little drop down boxes here. So let's go back. Filter the records using the checkbox filters to show personal for your lunch. So here we've got yes, if it's a yes, if it was a business, and then if it's blank. So this is where we want to go. So lunch and dinner. So drop down. And we are going to get rid of yes. We want the blanks in there. And now for our description, we want to deselect all, and we want lunch and we want dinner. And then say OK. And there you have it. So you want to show, was it business or non-business? That's your example. And then we, whoops, sorry about that. And then we want to take a look at description. Step 6, display the total row in cell D48, and then select the function to total the amount values. So we're going to click in cell D48, and we're going to go home. Oh, I'm sorry, not home. We actually want to do design, and we're going to click in D48. Actually, before you even click in D48, sorry about that, you have to do total row, and it gives us a total row in D48 automatically. And in cell E48, we do not want to show a total, so you're just going to say none. And in cell D48, you're going to select the function to total the amount of the values. And so to total the amount of the values, that's just sum. So it looks a little bit different when you're in there. We don't want to count, we don't want average or count the numbers. We want to add all those up. We want a total of those, so that's sum. And then don't forget that you want none for E48. Now in step 7, in the June expenses worksheet, apply the conditional formatting style that displays a green data bar gradient fill in the range for D2 to D47. So D2 down to D47. So we are picking again D2 all the way down to D47, and now we're going to click on our conditional formatting. So you need to go home, conditional formatting, and it says to apply conditional formatting style that displays a green data bar. So we're just going to do data bars, and it says gradient fill. So we've got gradient fill and solid, so you want gradient, and that's the only green, so choose that one. Now this one's nice and easy. It's the next two that are killers. All right, here we go. Now we're going to create a conditional formatting with rules rule with these specifications to the range. You need to select A2 to C47, and we're going to create a formula to determine which cells to format. So let's go into conditional formatting, and let's create a new rule, and it says use a formula to determine which cells to format. And then let me bring up the instructions. I want to give you a visual on this because it's kind of wonky. So here's your formula, and you've got argument 1 and argument 2. Argument 1 is going to be the D2 greater than or equals 2. Argument 2 is E2 and then equals and then the yes. So let's go ahead and type that in. So we have equals to start our formula, and another open paren. Argument 1 will be D2, and don't worry that it's absolute for the 2 as well as the D. We'll fix that in a second. Is greater than or equal to 100, comma. Now argument 2 is E2, and then will be equals, and now you do need your quotation marks because we want it to look exactly like that. So we've got equals, open paren, and open paren D2. Now we're going to take out that dollar sign, which is your absolute value, because you do want the column, or excuse me, the row to change as the fill handle goes down. That's why you're taking the absolute value off there. D, you want that to be constant. Greater than, equal to, E2, take it the absolute off of the 2 because you want the row number to change, equals, and then yes. Now here's a little bit trickier part. Now we're going to do some formatting. So you're going to go into, thank you. Whoops, and before I forget, let me go back. I forgot to do my close paren. And so you do want to do that. And now format. And so now we want to do fill, and it says medium green fill color. So we want the 7th color on the 4th row. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You know how I always say that Bill Gates is brilliant and way smarter than us, and that's why he's the billionaire and we're not? And that's because they give us these little pop-up words that tell us what is behind something, when you hover over it. It doesn't do it here. So you really do have to follow the instructions. 7th color on the 4th row. Next, we're going to do a green border color. And by the way, these are olive, but we'll check these out and see. So let's go ahead and do now the green border. So click on border. The color that we want is green. So go ahead and do green, and then we're going to do an outline preset border. And once you have all that, and you were here and you say okay, it's going to take you back to this, and I'm just going to double check one last time because I'm nervous because this is a pretty big formula here. So it should be equals, open paren, and argument 1 is D2 greater than less or greater than equal to 100, comma, for your argument 2, E2 equals, then yes, and I'm going to say okay. And then it does this, and now we're not done. Now let's take a look at step 9. We're going to do another conditional formatting, and let's go into new rule. And you still want A2 to C47, so don't get off of that. We're going to formula, the formula is going to determine which cells to format, so we're going here again. And this is going to be the exact same argument basically, just a slight difference. Equals, open paren, and open paren. Argument 1 this time says D2 is less than 100. Argument 2 will be E2 equals yes. And don't forget that you have to take the absolute value off of 2 for both of those. And do not use your arrow keys. It'll change your values here, your argument, so just be mindful of that. And then close paren, close paren. And then we're going to quickly do some formatting. Our fill will be light green, which is this one. And then, now this one is a little bit different. It does say seventh color in the second row. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that. And that does worry me a little bit because when I'm in here and I'm looking, this is my light green, but we'll play the game. I'll go ahead and pick this one. And now we are going to do our border, and that is going to be green. And we do want an outline. And I am kind of second guessing myself. So if I miss this in the on this, I want you all to go through and change that because honestly, this is the light green. In fact, when you click on border and you hover, you can see that that light turns on and it says that it's light green. So just be mindful of that for those that are watching this video. Alrighty, next we are going to go ahead and say OK. And then we're going to say okay one last time. And I'm kind of scared of this, but I think I've got it right. So I'm going to say okay. And then it does change a couple of more. Nice and easy. Now let's create a custom color sort for the description column with these specifications. We're going to sort on cell color to display the medium green fill color on top as the primary sort. So when we're sorting, we're doing more than one sort. So let's use our sort here. And so we want to sort on cell color, and we want on top. And so we want to be careful of which one to pick. So don't forget that you need to sort by description. And now we're going to sort on cell color. And our color that we're going to choose is the medium green. There's only two colors in there and one's a little bit darker than the other. So medium green, and then on top as the primary. Then our secondary level or add level will then be description again. We're going to do cell color again. So cell color for the sort on. This time we want light as and then on top, and let's just open that. I want you to see what's on there. So on top as a secondary sort. Now just say okay. And there you go. And now we're going to freeze the top row. So let's go ahead and get that. And while we're in here, so view is where we're going to go, and then freeze panes, and then freeze top row. So now when I scroll, I've got my top row, it's still right there. Number 12, step 12 says set the scale to fit percentage to 115. There's a couple of ways to skin this cat. I was looking at this the other day. I'm just going to go ahead and go into page setup. There's a couple of ways to do this. So you see that these look the same. But you can also do it here. But yeah, it's either way, it's going to get you there. This is page setup, and then this one also, same thing, page setup. All right, so we want our scale to fit. It's going to be 115. I'm not going to sit there and use my little up and down arrows. By the way, it's another example of you've got 50 minutes on that final and you've got about 40 questions. So if you just click in there, just change the last two digits instead of trying to click, click, click. That's a couple of seconds that you can be spending on a different question that you're going to need more time on. So again, set the scale to fit percentage to 115%. Display the worksheet and page break. Preview and insert a page break so that row 36 is on a new page. I'm going to go ahead and say OK, and I'm going to go to page break preview. And here's my page break here. We are going to want to pick this up and put it at the top of 36, and then we're going to repeat titles on row 1 on all pages. So to do step 13, you are going to go into print your, whoops, not print your titles, excuse me. You're going to go into open this up. So we're going to go over to sheets for page setup and rows to repeat. Go ahead and you need to do a reference. So it's going to be row 1, and then just go ahead and say OK. Oh, before we do that, next step 14, we have to stay in here. It says insert a footer with the text exploring series on the left. And then in the sheet name code in the center, so sheet name. And so you might just have to hover a little bit. Page names, format, file, sheet name, there we go. And then on the right, we are going to put the worksheet name. So insert, this is worksheet. So you just want to do the file name for the right. And then the last one is ensure that the worksheets are correctly named and placed in the following order in the workbook. Dining out and June expenses, which we know. I'm going to go ahead and go back to normal view and then close it, and then let's see if we can get this submitted. Don't forget to do your save, and then we'll upload, and this is 04 grader. So if you get stuck and you have any questions, you know what to do. You get a hold of, sorry about this, Dr. Barnes' question in Blackboard. And don't forget to post your questions in there in regards to the other project that you're going to be doing, which is got a little bit more rigor to it. So I got 100 again. Don't forget, if you don't get your 100, redo it. All right, everyone, enjoy.